Tom George is live in Kailua now at the scene of the chopper crash with the very latest. Tom?
Yeah, Lindsay, really a scary and sad situation for the people who live here in Kailua. This all happening in the middle of a residential neighborhood. That chopper coming to a crash right here on the middle of the street here on Oniava. I'm going to step out of the way and give you a look right there. This area is still blocked off. Just down that street is where that crash happened. Now, I want to show you some of the pictures that we've been seeing from witnesses here on the ground. When that crash happened, they said it was a loud boom. It was a fiery crash right there in the middle of their street. And they say the other scary part of all this is that some witnesses say that chopper was already falling apart mid-air, and that there was a large area that was impacted by debris as pieces of the plane were falling off. In fact, one neighbor was actually getting into her car when looks like a fuel tank from the plane fell on top of the car. So certainly a scary situation for residents here as they saw this coming. Take a listen.
All I saw was a helicopter pretty low. So I said, okay, I want to see where it is. So I backed away from there so I could see at that angle. And I saw the helicopter. Then all of a sudden I said, boom. I said, oh, it started to fall apart. I said, oh, I saw the piece coming towards me. Then I said, the helicopter started coming towards me. I said, okay, run. I said, so I ran. But by the time I turned around and looked, he was already out on the road.
Yes, you can only imagine how scary that was for neighbors. The good news is that we've heard from neighbors that there were no reported injuries on the ground in their neighborhoods from all that debris, but they say their hearts really go out to the 3 people who were killed on board. And again, we don't know too much about the circumstances or the landing, but neighbors say they're grateful for that pilot for somehow being able to put the plane down in a safer area on the street, as opposed to possibly hitting somebody's house or causing even more damage than already happened. But again, 3 people confirmed dead at this point. We're still working to gather some more information. But again, for right now, this area on Oniava will be blocked off as they continue to investigate. So they are telling people to avoid the area. For now, reporting live, Tom George, KITV Island News.
A lot of questions do remain about what led up to that crash. And KITV4's Tom George live now from the scene on Oniava Street this morning. Tom, what's the latest?
Yeah, good morning, Lindsay and Maleko. Those are some of the questions investigators are trying to piece together as they continue to investigate that crash that happened just about 24 hours ago. Now that the sun's coming up, we're seeing a lot of people heading out to work, and this stretch of Oniava is still blocked off right now. I want to step out of the way and give you a look right there. You can see right there in the distance, there's the tail of the chopper sticking out right there. As we mentioned before, just landing right in the middle of a busy street in a residential area. So certainly really shocking for neighbors. And I want to show you some video of what this looked like yesterday. As we mentioned, you can see it right there in the middle of the street. Yesterday, it was a fiery crash. Neighbors telling us this all happened in the span of just about 10 or 15 seconds. But they say the warning signs were there even as the plane was coming down. They say that there was debris flying everywhere, and some of them had to run.
And all of a sudden, I said, boom. I said, oh, it started to fall apart. I said, oh, I saw the piece coming towards me. Then I said, the helicopter started coming towards me. I said, okay, run.
Yeah, so certainly a scary situation for them. The good news, of course, nobody on the ground was actually injured in all of this, but certainly, unfortunately, 2 passengers and the pilot were killed. We're still waiting to learn more information, but we do know that this was a tour helicopter. It was run by a company called No Victor. They're also being investigated. Also, concerns as well exist over the fact that there was another incident with that company just about 6 months ago. So that's all part of the investigation that's being looked into by the FAA and the NTSB. So again, this area is still blocked off as people are waking up, but a lot of concerns still over those low-flying tour helicopters. That's all part of the investigation. But 24 hours later, still very much an active scene. We're going to continue to stay out here all morning and let you know as soon as we get some more information. For now, we'll send it back to you. There are some routes
My 5th great grandfather Planted the challah tree across the street in the beach park.
Roots that run so deep,
Bike riding up and down the lane, walking up and down the lane with my nana.
that even as generations go by,
Over 200 years.
and the small Kailua town they once knew quickly grew and changed around them. For Ka'iulani Manuvai's family, those roots have stayed strong.
It's home. It's everything that we are.
Their family home was built before 1930, and 12 years ago, Ka'iulani's mom wanted to expand it to make room for the grandkids.
Nothing extravagant. We're not lavish people. We just wanted a good place for the kids to come home to.
The idea was to take this and turn it into a dream home for their family, but the project was never finished. A combination of permits not going through and a shady contractor ended with the plan stalling and money going out the window.
It was in a bad place, so we spent a few years trying to control the bleeding in that sense, where we had to use money that was supposed to be for a good facelift to take care of the bad things that were done to us by the contractor.
Things only got worse when they tried to refinance, when a trusted advisor mismanaged their money. In debt, eventually the home was auctioned off to the bank. They were ordered to be out just a few weeks ago until a judge ordered the bank to work with them, giving them a second chance.
We were able to share part of our mo'olelo with the judge, our story, and she has given us an extension to December 5th.
Now they're fighting to keep their home, and the community is stepping up to help. They know it's a lot to ask.
$1 million.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but there's more than 1 million people here on this island, and all it takes is $1 from each hand.
They say at this point it's not even about the house that'll have to be torn down.
We just need a fresh start. That's all.
It's the idea of losing the land where those roots run deep. This place is so important.
Terrifying, It's it's my pico, it's my belly button, it's who we are. It's all I know. So I'm gonna fight. We're gonna fight for it.
And we are at the Makalapa gate here, and actually just about 5-10 minutes ago was when it actually reopened, when that lockdown was lifted. So we are seeing people driving out, also people walking out, trying to get to their cars. Obviously a very serious situation for a lot of the people that work there. And I'm joined now by Janelle, who works on the base. So where do you work, and where were you when this happened?
I work at the bowling alley on base. I was actually about to leave when I was told to lock the doors because we have an active shooter. At first I thought it was a alarm, like a drill. And then I was told it's real. So first thing I did was call my mom and let her know what was going on.
Yeah. And so you were on lockdown for how long?
I would say maybe about 1.5 to 2 hours, roughly.
I mean, that has to be terrifying. I can't imagine what went through your mind as you hear those words.
Don't come by my bowling alley. Please stay where you're at. That, and I hope whoever was around there was actually safe and didn't get hurt. Unfortunately, we were told some of them were, but it's not much you can really think in the moment except for just for your own safety.
Glad you're okay. What did you tell your mom?
I just told her to go home and that we have an active shooter on base, and I'll keep her in touch of what's going on, and to constantly ping my phone. If I answer, I'm okay. If I don't, then, worry, but don't panic.
So when it was all over, did they give some kind of all clear or any kind of message that it was safe to leave?
My manager actually got a phone call and said that the lockdown was lifted and that we could all go and on with our business, whether we're going home or to another location, which was actually really good because then I get to go home.
But that's got to be scary, though.
It was. This is my first time, and I've never had a drill before, so experiencing it literally a month after going to the training class was, this is a new one for me. Won't forget this.
Well, I'm glad you're okay, Janelle, and glad you're safe and able to go home tonight. Thank you so much for talking with us, and stay safe. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Janelle, just one of the people we've seen walking out. We've seen some other people on base walking out as well. Again, just about 10 minutes ago is when this all reopened to the public. Again, you see cars right now behind me heading in. Still a strong police presence, too. We're still continuing to see some HPD responding to the scene here as well. Again, we'll continue to stay on top of this and let you know as soon as we know more. But again, this is the Makalapa gate. Eliza Larson is over at the other gate, but we are hearing it is back open. We'll send it back to you.
Tom George is at Mauna Kea, where protesters have been expressing opposition. Tom?
Yeah, tensions have really been mounting now that it's 7 o'clock. This road here on Mauna Kea is officially closed, but people have been here for hours. They've actually chained themselves to this cattle guard. One of them, Walter Riddy, he's been here since the beginning. You know, what are you concerned about now? It's now 7 o'clock. Technically, this is when police are here.
Yeah, they're coming. So we'll see how they treat Hawaiians.
And you said you're not moving. You're physically chained to this cattle guard.
Right. This is not, I mean, we're resisting, but it's passive resistance. So we'll see how they treat us.
And, you know, just to reiterate again, just why is this so important? You've been out here. It's been cold out here on the mountain. I mean, this is important to you.
This is extremely important. It's not important to me. It's important to the Hawaiian nation. This is about the Hawaiian nation trying to survive in an illegal government. So, I mean, we're going to survive. And this illegal government is going to show how they're going to treat us.
Yeah, and he says he is planning on not moving again. Police already on the ground here. We'll, of course, continue to watch this as this unfolds. Tom George, KTV4, Island News.